Looking for great, affordable, dry white wines perfect for summer? Look no further than Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand. Year in and year out, this beautiful country, best known for being the place where The Lord of the Rings movies were filmed, produces some of the driest, most refreshing white wines. I've raved before about Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand's Marlborough region. All but one of the wines reviewed this week come from here. That's because these wines have such a distinct, delightful taste. Some inexpensive white wines have no flavor or character, but many New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs immediately stand out with their grassy, citrus-like flavors. And if you think they all taste the same, think again. There are subtle differences between each one of the wines reviewed this week. Plus there's the price factor. 7 of the wines recommended this week cost less than $10 a bottle. Many of them are also easily available at many wine stores around the world. I also included 2 additional Sauvignon Blancs, one from New Zealand and one from California, that cost a bit more but are definitely worth splurging on since they illustrate the versatility of this delicious grape. Let me add that I loved all 9 wines reviewed this week. There isn't a bad one on the list, I simply loved a few of them a little more. One more thing, as Columbo used to say, if you really want to appreciate the wine's distinct flavors, make sure you swirl the wine around your mouth before swallowing. Otherwise, if you drink the wine straight down, you'll miss out on what makes these Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand so unique and so much fun. Hope you enjoy. Wines reviewed this week: 2017 Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc, $9.99 at table. Along with New Zealand, places that excel at making great Sauvignon Blancs include Chile, Australia, California's Napa Valley and France's Loire Valley and Bordeaux regions. If you love white wines from France's Sancerre region in the Loire Valley, you love Sauvignon Blanc since that's the grape used to make those wines. About the region: New Zealand's Marlborough region, where all but one of the wines reviewed this week was made, has a long, rich winemaking history. Located on the northern tip of New Zealand's southern island, the country's divided mainly into 2 large islands. This part of the country's mainly famous for making 2 outstanding types of wine, Pinot Noir and Sauvignon Blanc. Foods to pair with wines: New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs taste great on their own, but they go particularly well with seafood, especially shellfish. And I can say that with confidence since all the New Zealand wines reviewed this week were tasted while eating fresh oysters from Prince Edward Island in Canada. Tasting notes: 2017 Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc, highly recommend, one of the most popular New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs. This consistently delicious white wine deserves all the attention it gets. In a taste test with the other New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs reviewed this week, this one stands out with its crisp, signature fresh-cut grass flavors that made New Zealand's Marlborough region famous. There's also a slight hint of citrus and ripe green apple flavors as well. 2016 Haymaker Sauvignon Blanc. This is the first time I tried this wine and I was impressed by its distinct blend of flavors, including grapefruit, green apple and a slight sour aftertaste. There's also a crisp ripeness to the wine that pairs perfectly with oysters and other shellfish. This wine is more of a food wine versus one you drink on its own. 2016 Gießen Sauvignon Blanc. Another wine I tried for the first time. This understated wine illustrates just how different Sauvignon Blancs from New Zealand's Marlborough region can taste. Everything about this wine is subtle and understated. The green grass, green apple and citrus-like flavors are all toned down, all softer than the other wines reviewed this week. 2017 Ronga Sauvignon Blanc. Of all the New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs reviewed this week, this one, which is the first time I tried this wine, has the most citrus fruit-like flavors, including orange and grapefruit. Crisp and yet slightly tart, there's almost a Sour Patch Kid-like taste to this fragrant yet dry white wine. Another wine that shines best when paired with shellfish and other seafood. 2016 Clifford Bay Sauvignon Blanc. Another first for me, this wine has a subtle blend of crisp green apple, the most dominant flavor, along with a hint of grapefruit and a faint hint of fresh-cut green grass. Like the Gießen, the flavors are more muted than many of the other wines reviewed this week, but not as understated as the Gießen. A beautiful, subtle wine perfect for drinking on its own or with seafood. 2016 Monkey Bay Sauvignon Blanc. A flavor-packed wine that I tasted for the first time. This bright, clean wine will appeal to people who like wines that pack a bit of a punch. Dominant flavors include ripe green apple, a hint of grapefruit, and mountain laurel. The flavors in this wine in particular really jump out when you swirl the wine around your mouth. Great with shellfish or on its own. 2016 Matua Sauvignon Blanc. Highly recommend, one of my favorite New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs. This one will appeal to traditionalists who crave that distinct, refreshing, fresh-cut grass flavor mixed with a hint of grapefruit and ripe green apple. Great with shellfish or its own, this classic New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc gets everything just right. Wine's worth splurging on. 2016 Cooper. Almost Chardonnay-like in flavor, this distinct wine has a slightly nutty flavor with a hint of melted butter and just a touch of tequila. Definitely one of the most unique wines on the market. Delicious on its own or with seafood or even roasted meats. 2017 Kim Crawford Signature Reserve Sauvignon Blanc. Outstanding Sauvignon Blanc from one of New Zealand's best-known winemakers in the Marlborough region. This wine takes New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc to a whole different level. Soft and understated at first, the wine's subtle flavors slowly emerge like a gentle ocean breeze, a hint of green grass, followed by a splash of grapefruit and then slightly buttery notes. Let me add that this wine has the longest, lushest finish of all the wines reviewed this week. Absolutely outstanding. Cheers. Next week Burgundy Wineries Part 4 interview, tasting at Domaine and Gross. Wine Press by Ken Ross appears on masslive.com every Monday and in the Republicans Weekend section every Thursday. Follow Ken Ross on Twitter or Instagram.